Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit that notification bell, get all the updates. Rest of today's video, it's Thursday, and sometimes on Thursdays I do Thursday's Thirsty Thoughts. And I just reviewed, although this will be posted a few days later, I just reviewed Dogfish Head's, it's probably pretty obvious given the title, Dogfish Head's Wake Up Worldwide Stout. And got me thinking, because I was trying to think of like a topic for this week. I got Beer Tuber Palooza coming up this week, but I already talked about that last week. And but this kind of got me thinking about Dogfish Head specifically, a brewery I love. I mean, they have basically their own shelf. Like that's how much I like their stuff, and the fact that like they're pro aging beer and like all that stuff. So I'm a huge fan, and it got me thinking like, man, if I was hired, what would you do at Dogfish Head? Like what would you have us release? And I kind of got thinking about it, and I have some thoughts. So as always with these videos, I'm trying to get stuff going in the comment section, since I didn't again live stream. They're tough for me, and this year at work we're actually going in even earlier, so like I'm not really trying to do a ton of live streams during the week. And anyway, it gets tough to do live streams, but I want to interact with people as best I can. So that's why, again, these videos I try to do that so people can put stuff in the comments. So if you have thoughts about Dogfish Head, but also if you have like another brewery, you're like, man, I wish here in Nevada, like I spoke about this last week's video, like if you're like they put out there like, what would you like us to rebrew? So if there's a different brewery that you want to weigh in on, like I would love for this brewery, like I get what you're saying, dude, and I have this different brewery I want to give a thought about, do that. It doesn't have to be Dogfish Head. For me, I'm going to focus on Dogfish Head though. Do more of this for sure. And I'm not so full of myself that I think anyone from Dogfish Head's watching this video, but like the merger, whatever you want to call it, right, with Dogfish Head and Samuel Adams, like doing the Utopias aged worldwide stout made perfect sense. Love it. Love the synergy, to use that term. And then they're like, we're going to do another variant. And they've done other variants, but like, we're going to do another variant. We're going to do a coffee one, but it's Dogfish Head. So we're not going to just do coffee, which I respect and I love because it's very much part of their ethos. So this has other stuff in it. And again, if you haven't watched that video, make sure you go watch that video. So like, I really respect that. I think there's some other, what I'll call legacy beers, that I would love to also see them do that for. They have played around with things like their IPAs. I would love to see more of that, like different specific, like fruited 60-minute, for example, I think would be really cool. They did like the whole 75-minute. They did, what was it, 61, where they had like a little bit of, what was it, grape musk maybe. So I definitely like the idea of some of their hoppier beers, especially my mind just goes to fruit. I would love to see, it doesn't have to be like the, it may be part of it's because I had, recently have had some Treehouse beers that were IPAs and double IPAs that had fruit, but I know they like playing around with fruit, and I would love to see more of that. Sea Quench Ale is a beer I love. I don't know what version, like variant of that I'd want. But like maybe something like that, like there's like a lemon version. I don't know. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to say, besides doing some other variants of other legacy beers, is, man, I don't know if I've talked about this before. How awesome would it be if they started maybe like, I mean, I'd love a lot more of it, but like one beer you haven't brewed in a while per year, you like add into the rotation. Like I know like Pangea is the one I'm always talking about, and that's probably a little harder because you get the ingredient from every continent. But man, I love ginger. I love that beer so much. But like, and there's so many that I can't even think of all of them. Theobroma, another beer I loved. I would love that beer brought back. So I would really like to see them play around with some of their legacies, do more variants, because I think that's really cool. And then also, I would love to see them bring back some of these beers that I used to drink. And like, I'd get those big 750 milliliters. Either I would drink it myself, or like it was like a perfect bottle share beer. And we had, back in the day, I had bottle shares where it was just Dogfish Head. Like back early craft beer was really hard to get different breweries, at least in New York and where I lived at the time. But you could get Dogfish Head, and sometimes we would just have, like, because they had so many different crazy to us sounding beers, that we would just do like Dogfish Head bottle shares, you know? So like those beers are just so fun to me. I love those beers so much. So I would love to also see them do that. So again, what is your task? Either Dogfish Head or a different brewery you really like. And if you were calling the shots, what would you do? I don't want to say differently because this is not a negative to Dogfish Head. I still love them as a brewery so much. I love drinking their stuff. Again, I think Sea Quench is the best. I'll just say I think Sea Quench is the best sour ale I've ever had, period. I know people are going to be like, what about this super uber hard to get, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Sea Quench is better. So anyway, so what do you think? Comment section below. Let's get it going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untappd. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.